Alright folks, so after a few hours of leveling up my units and upgrading, I've unlocked some more stories, so let's check it out. Roland harbored doubts about his station, but Serenor reminds him that he is noble in his own way. Let's go.
Roland, what are you doing out here?
There's hardly a better place to become lost in one's thoughts. Don't you agree?
I suppose. However, if aught weighs on your mind, it may serve you better to turn to a friend.
Then let me ask, do you believe me too immature for my station?
Not at all. Quite the opposite, in fact.
But the other nobles loved to gossip of my disinterest in politics and intrigue, and mocked my love of hawking.
You said it yourself. Gossip and sniping, nothing more. Pay no mind to nobles and their petty judgments. The people who matter, your subjects, hold you dearly in their hearts.
Is that true?
Stories abound of their love for you.
That's true. I mean, not recently.
Hey, go peddle your junk somewhere else.
And why would I do that, my good sir? I see no reason to forego such a bustling avenue simply to please a stranger.
A stranger? You're posted in front of my damn shop. You're stealing my customers from right under my nose.
Oh, I am? I'm not sure your lack of customers could be blamed on me. Surely the proprietor bears some responsibility for...
What bickering is this?
None of your business, whelp. Now leave us to our negotiations.
Prince Roland, is that really you?
A prince, you say? Well,
A distinguished gentleman such as yourself must be mortified to have your customers bear witness to this childish bickering.
I'm sorry, Your Highness. My temper got the best of me.
And you, merchant. If you mean to trade in Glenbrook, I trust you have procured the proper licenses and approvals.
well, the process takes some days, you see. Pardon, your highness.
Then your business shall have to wait some days, it seems. Shall I summon a member of the Kingsguard to explain the law in detail?
No, there'll be no need of that, highness. I'll just be on my way.
Good man.
Thank you, Prince Roland. Come visit any time and I'll let you have your pick of my wares.
Huh? What? Huh? What? Huh? What, Sir Serenoa?
Your place has always been with your people. You could walk down the main avenue and settle disputes with a single word.
Use more than one.
Don't tell me you were watching. They were petty arguments, nothing more.
As petty as they might have been, you were happy to do it. What better proof of royalty is there than that?
But it wasn't because I was wise that I solved their problems. It was my name and status that lent my words weight. How do you imagine a kingdom with not a single dissatisfied soul would look?
It's impossible.
That's a difficult thing to imagine.
Indeed. I suppose the best one can hope for is to do what we can, while we can.
Well, we can start envisioning such a nation. That one day we might build it. Together.
I like the sound of that. No doubt the answers we seek lie ahead, so long as we stay honest with ourselves. And so long as we work together, you and I, Serenoa.
Oof, oof, oof. Alright. Next. Even a tavern, meant to be a place for people to forget their worries, seems it sees its shares of troubles. What's up, brother?
Go on, have another glass. I'm offering top shelf drink for bottom shelf prices tonight. No need to fret over your coin purses.
See? This is why we keep coming back. Nobody treats us better than our Hasabara.
Quite the crowd tonight, eh? Good to see it.
All thanks to you for supplying me with that mead.
Thanks to my good fortune, you mean. I got it for so cheap on account of the batch not measuring quite up to the brewer's usual standards.
Still, look at how happy it's made them. There's nothing I love more than seeing my tavern full to bursting like this. Thank you, Eridor. Truly.
It's nothing, honest.
Ah, and just like that, they've nearly drank me dry. Might have to close up early tonight.
Celebrating something, Hasabara. Whatever it is, we'll drink to that. Pour us around.
I wish I could. Seems the barrels have run dry tonight. But if you'll come back on the morrow...
Run dry? You've enough for these drunkards? You can't spare a drop for those of us who are risking our lives for you on the battlefield? Ah!
Uh-oh.
Hey! Who are you calling a drunkard?
Don't you fools go spoiling the one spot of happiness we've had in a long while.
Enough! My tavern's a place for forgetting troubles, not stirring them up. You do well not to look down your noses at the very people you've sworn an oath to protect. You want respect? Go out there and earn it by ending the war. Then there'll be drink aplenty to go around.
You tell them, Hasabara. They're no better than us.
You lot aren't blameless either, you know. These soldiers do put their lives on the line to protect yours. They get enough grief on the battlefield without you giving it to them off it.
You both shut your mouth.
I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me.
No, I shouldn't have let my temper flare.
Look, there's still some drink left here. How's about you raise a glass together?
Yeah. You can have some of ours, too.
Well, don't mind if I do.
Level head you've got on your shoulders there, Hasabara.
It helped that you pitched in when you did.
Ah, now that hits the spot.
Doesn't it? Here, I'll pour you another.
See? Now this is what I live for. Giving people a place they can come together and leave the worries of the world behind for a while. Somehow, I know this is what Theo would have wanted me to do. If only I could raise a glass with him.
Aye, I reckon he'd be proud. You've made a spot of sunshine for people who don't get much of it these days. People like me.
What with business booming again, it looks like I'm going to have my hands full for a while. Don't you worry for your mama, Theo. As long as there's ale to be poured and smiles on her customers' faces, she'll be just fine.
Good mom. And the last one is while paying a visit to a nearby village with Serenoa, Yen finally realized what he can do as a blacksmith. Alright, let's check it out.
This place was host to a battle not long ago, wasn't it?
We have come here to help. Let us offer what relief we can.
I never imagined the war would spiral this out of hand. Before the fighting started, all I cared about was becoming the realm's greatest blacksmith. I dreamed of forging the perfect weapon, a testament to strength. But what is strength, truly? Of late, I have pondered much on that question.
And have you arrived at an answer?
Well,
There they are. Thanks for the sweets you gave us. Hey, let's play a game.
Very well. What shall we play? Apologies, Iens. You may return. You needn't wait for me.
Come on, over here.
It's kind of rude. You just stopped in mid-conversation.
I believe I may have found my answer, Lord Serenoa. Courage, kindness, warmth that kindles a smile upon a child's face. The fortitude to keep fighting, no matter what trials you may face. Through it all, your heart remains unbent and unbroken. That is what will end this war. You, my lord, and the unmatched weapons you carry within you.
Hey, you should play with us too.
If you insist, here I come.
Yeah, very true. To be honest, Serenoa is too nice. Alright, so here we go. So once again, House Wolford stands before three diverging paths. The time has come to lay their convictions bare before the scales and make their greatest decision yet. The story approaches a turning point. It is recommended that you save your current progress. Proceed to save screen. Sure. I'll save twice. Turning point. Interesting.
You are certain Hyzan's army marches for the Grand Norzelian mines?
There is no doubt.
They've heard word of the crystals.
It was only a matter of time. We knew this.
Esfrost's army gathers at Twinsgate as well.
War's breaking out over this thing, and we've got to be ready.
How will Glenbrook respond, King Roland?
There's no need to prepare for war. I have decided that we will surrender the salt crystals to the holy state of Hyzant.
What?
Furthermore, I hereby declare that the kingdom of Glenbrook and its people shall submit to the goddess and her teachings. There is no way to bring happiness to all Norzelia with the salt crystals. Which is why I have chosen a path that will allow the greatest number of people to live in equality and harmony.
How could you? Do you not see that Hyzant's dominion over Norzelia's salt is why we are in conflict already? Is the suffering of the Rizal not proof enough that the goddess's vaunted equality is a lie?
She speaks the truth, my king. Handing over the salt crystals is tantamount to giving Hyzant's goddess free reign of Norzelia. Will you so readily surrender the realm to the Hierophant?
I acknowledge the abdication of my kingdom and kingship alike. A small price to pay in my eyes, in exchange for the security and prosperity of the many.
And the sacrifice of the Rizal, is that a small price to you?
It is.
How could you say such a thing to my face?
I, for one, oppose. I would prefer to ally with Esfrost and strike back at Hyzant. The salt deposits within the mines give us the leverage we need to convince Gustadolf to join us.
Ally with Esfrost? You dare suggest we ally with the man who murdered my father?
I see no reason why we should not. You proposed abdicating the throne for the sake of the kingdom and its people. So you should have no trouble putting aside your own feelings and judging this matter dispassionately.
I cannot believe my own ears.
True.
I will not have you lecture me on feelings when it is not your father he murdered.
None of you can see beyond your own grievances. It's no wonder my people have suffered for generations. We're told to believe in the goddess, while our own lives are thrown away to make a few more grains of your precious salt. And now, even with proof that the goddess is a lie, you would watch us dig our own graves for your comfort.
Lady Frederica, please. We shall speak of the Roselle in due time.
No, I've heard that before. Your due time is never, and I will not have you cast us aside for another 3 decades or more. All else is in disarray. If Hyzante seizes the salt crystals, we forfeit the best opportunity in decades to free my people. We know the truth. We must act upon it. We must be a light in the darkness.
We cannot afford to dilute our forces when the enemy marches on us as we speak.
That's true.
So we are a distraction to you?
I am merely being rational. Liberating the Roselle would be extremely dangerous. We cannot take such a risk. Suppose we succeed. How do you propose we fend off the fury Hyzante will rain down upon us?
Esfrost would pounce on us, sensing weakness at the undue burden we've taken upon ourselves.
Precisely. We would be without allies and ripe for the taking.
There is another way.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
We set out alongside the Roselle in search of Centralia.
Centralia is a myth.
The legends of my people are true.
I care not one whit if they are. I will hear no talk of forsaking the Wolffort domain.
Silence! I have heard enough to know where each of you stand. Do you all hold the courage of your own convictions?
I do.
Nothing I've heard here has swayed me.
I feel the same.
Very well. But know that a choice must be made. There can only be one way forward. Face the scales of conviction and prepare to make peace with the outcome.
Oh boy, the vote we take today may well open a rift between us. Nevertheless, it must proceed, and I'm prepared to accept its outcome. Okay, a lot of undecided people. Alright. Let's go out. Lord Serenoa, I cannot help it but feel our greatest battle lies ahead, regardless of which path we choose. I know this may not be the best time to say so, but my wife gave birth to our first child not a few days ago. You're a father before a soldier. It is your duty to protect your own house before that of Wolffort. Yeah, but being a soldier, if that's already your job, you can protect your kid by being there too. I will not force you to march with us. I only ask that you act according to your own convictions. We must pull together if we're to emerge victorious. I ask that you see us through this final battle. Give him the choice. Might I have time to think about it, my lord? But of course, the path before me diverges as well, and I must also take time to think before making a decision. Let us both choose a path that leaves us with no regret. Thank you, Sonora. It is an honor to call you my lord. I cannot help but feel the House Wolffort's greatest battle lies ahead. Can I get out? Oh, I guess not. To think King Roland, Lady Frederica, and Sir Benedict convictions will diverge so greatly after all this time. Just between you and me, Lord Sonora, what do you make of their plans? I believe that Benedict plans to use Aesfrost's ideals of freedom to ascend to the top of all Noselia. I think Roland's intends to put his personal feelings aside to bring peace and equality to everyone. Frederica wishes is a human one. She desires to liberate those who have been cruelly oppressed. I believe that Benedict plans to use Aesfrost's ideals of freedom to ascend to the top of all Noselia. Well, that's the thing, because if freedom happens to be everywhere, then the Roselle should be freed instead of being slaves. So he would join forces with the Duchy not only to survive but to prepare for the final stage of his plan. I think it's a strategy that no ordinary tactician would come up with. I would most certainly not want him as my enemy. Thankfully for us, he's in our house, most loyal retrainer. Indeed he is. Though it does make me wonder if everything he has done is simply for the sake of our house or something more. Everyone's choices are deeply rooted in their convictions. It makes me wonder if they'll be able to abide by the Scales' decision. Lord Serenora, it falls to you to lead everyone down the right path. Of course, I wish for all of us to walk astride the same path as we always have. Alright. I don't think we can change their thoughts.
Serenoa.
Only we can free the Roselle and expose the lies that has kept them in bondage many years. However, we must move quickly while their gaze is fixed upon the salt crystals. I believe we can succeed. I heard your plea, yet I cannot help but wonder if you wish to act with too much haste.
But...
I know not what I can do to prove to you that I have thought this through. I swear to you, this is not a fit of pique. Benedict's stratagems may also provide a chance to strike at Hyzan. Would that not be enough? This also prolongs this war, and thus the immense suffering of my people. Even if we do prevail, you know as well as I that my brother is not a merciful man. He will not spare so much as a thought for the weak. That much is true. The Roselle's plight would then be buried once more amid negotiation between the nations. Do you see, the time is now, and only we have the power to save them. Power we forfeit if we ascend to Roland's plan.
I have decided.
His is the one vision of the future I cannot abide. So at least if I go with Benedict, she won't be as mad. Like, she'll be pissed, but she's like, okay, at least it's not Roland's plan. Perhaps my concern seems narrow when all the Norzia is at stake. Very true. But I know you can save my brothers and sisters. I beg you to consider it.
Serenoa.
We must give Hyzan the Salt Crystal, cow Aesros, and unite all Norzia under the name of the goddess. Else we will never know peace. The Roselle will continue to suffer, this true. But this will end war as we know it, and countless more will live in peace, as equals.
I have made my decision.
I will see this done, not just for the people of Glenbrook, but for all Nozelia. Roland, you are the king. Surely cooperation with Hyzan need not mean to forfeit the forfeit of your kingdom.
I think not.
That is where you're wrong, my friend. My time on the throne has shown me that the people need a force more powerful than any king to show them the way. There are many paths that leads us out of war. Cooperating with Aesros, or for instance, end the war by allying with the very Archduke who set this in motion. No, cooperation with the tyrant hence nothing. His avarice has brought only pain and suffering to this land.
Moreover,
if anyone understood the tortures path I've taken to arrive to this decision, I thought it would be you, Serenoa. Benedict.
My lord.
We share a common goal with Aesros at the moment. It is incumbent upon us to seize that opportunity and rid Nozelia of Hyzan for good. Indeed, the Salt Crystal makes an alliance with Aesros possible, but Roland would never accede to it. He feels the weight of the crown, underestimates his own abilities, and has allowed his hatred of Gustavus to cloud his judgment. I sympathize, but those matters should have no bearing on the welfare of our house. Perhaps you're right, but then what of Fricurita's vision? Do you concede that her plan concern our house?
Quite impossible.
I concede nothing, for her strategy is out of the question. She asks us to forfeit all we have fought to build in this domain. How can I reasonably entertain such a proposition? and you will brook no argument otherwise. None.
We must decide.
May I remind you that you are Lord of Wolford. Your duty is to your people above all else.
I believe I've reached a decision.
This moment requires a dispassionate mind. I pray you have one. I mean, he's right. Like, I want to go with the Roselle just to see what will happen. But he's right. It's like going against the war with against Hyzant would be the move for sure. Let's start to end.
Lord Serenoa.
Benedict and King Roland would march us to war. Frederica would see Hyzant haunts us for all eternity. Perhaps the vision is not so different. So it comes to this. Ally with a one-time opponent or flee with the Roselle.
However,
bold proposal all. Our tactic must be flawless. Okay, that's interesting. I never noticed below, but it gives you like the chances, I guess, that they will go this way. It may take effort, but it can be swayed. This one should listen to reason. What if we went with the Roselle and then we left this domain and just like went to the other place? I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna go for that. I'm interested to see where the story goes. So you assent to Frederica's vision of the future. War is coming, a war for all Norzelia, and you will forfeit your role in it. There is no better time to free the Roselle than now, while Aesros and Hyzant squabble over the salt crystal. This is how we end the war. Hyzant will crumble once we free the Roselle. True, if the Desneld and Elfrix are unleashed on the battlefield, the casualty would eclipse any war that's to come. I'm gonna go with the top one.
Even so,
they squabble over Nozera's future. They who control the salt control the continent. And here you stand, saying you throw away the same power just to free the Roselle. In short, yes, no matter which nation claims the salt crystals, their people have a future. But the Roselle have no future, save the one in house can give them.
Then?
So you assent not simply to appease Frederica. Nay. I now know the Roselle to be innocent, and I shall go to their aid because it is the righteous thing to do. She and I share a common morality, one that led us to this judgment. Then I have no further questions. It remains a danger and ill-conceived plot in my eyes. Nevertheless, I'm proud to serve a lord so seriously devoted to their cause.
Aye, lad.
Alright. I think he may be able to be swayed. Our sweat and blood fed this land, built it into a proper domain. I see no reason why we should surrender it all to Hyzant. And Lady Frederica, while sympathize, asks that we risk everything for the sake of the Roselle.
Here's what I think.
Benedict got the right of it, I reckon. But even that isn't quite the nagging feeling I get every time I think about our options. How could you possibly support Lady Frederica's vision? Have you gone mad? The war will never end so long as we hold the salt crystal. We must relinquish them and break the cycle of violence. I wish to carry on, nay, surpass my father's legacy of protecting the Roselle. I need you with me, Eredor. I don't think that's the second one. The salt is the source of a lot of the trouble, yes, but there's precious little we can do about it.
Consider this.
Anyone in Norzelia would tell you the same. I am well aware of our situation, Eredor, but I'm tired of fighting. We cannot go on like this. I beg you, join me in finding another way forward.
And further. You
have precious little idea how much I sympathize with how much I sympathize and I want to help you, but Lady Figure's vision is fantasy, my lord, a foolhardy one at that. You can beg till your face is blue, but I doubt you'll win much support.
However,
here we stand after a bitter fight to reclaim the crown city, only for the king to speak to forsake it. As his subject, it is my duty to follow his decree, and yet, my lord, the choice before us seems immense. I am utterly adrift. Pray tell me how you see the proposal from King Roland and the others. I need your guidance. I wish to place my faith in Frederica's vision. You have taken Frederica's sides in all of this. What fascination do the Roselle hold for you, my lord? Frederica has shown me a feature in which no one has beholden to salt, or indeed to any nation. There is no better time to free the Roselle than now, while Ace Rust and squabble over the... Do I go with the idealistic or the practical? I go with the idealistic. So, if the choice is to ally with the duchy, who prize might over all else, or submit to the other state, who prey upon the weak.
But...
You mean to suggest we simply do neither? Precisely. She has shown me the Roselle legends are true. That means there is hope for all of us. A hope I would bet my life upon. So long as we sit between two nations who've no compassion for the weak, I fear we will never know peace.
Furthermore,
I take your point. War will spread and perhaps even end when the Death Knell and Alfric are unleashed upon the continent. So you see why I would choose to flee with the weak, rather than be party to the atrocities of the powerful. It will be a flight amidst a hell of arrows and steel, but so righteous and noble that I would be proud to give my life for it. You've stated your case well, my lord. Alright, I got two. If I can get this one, I think I'm good.
What do you need?
Each path before us demand a great sacrifice in exchange for a great reward. I am sure King Roland, Benedict, and Frederica have agonized over their proposals.
Well...
So now, we must agonize over our own choices. I must say I'm surprised by your support for Frederica's vision. I've been by her side for years, and even I must admit it is rather hopeful if I'm being charitable. Perhaps you see something I do not. Noselia will forever be plagued will be forever plagued by war. I wish to leave this place and create a nation that knows only peace. My father has defended the Roselle for all these years and intend to carry it on. In truth, I agree with you. Her plans imprudent and ill-advised. I'm gonna agree with her.
Uh-huh.
Imprudent and ill-advised indeed. You have put it quite well. The risks are many and the potential for unintended consequences too great. The trouble is, her heart is in the right place and it's only human to want for better people, is it not?
Well...
With the right strategy, it won't be foolish at all. Her vision will lead to a better, brighter future. I'm sure of it. Then you see why I was convinced. How very shrewd of you, Lord Serenoa, purposefully egging me on until I drop my mask. I meant you no ill will, please. Will you join me in supporting her?
Possibly.
I shall consider my position, yes, for her sake. Oh, I made it. Wow, I made it. Okay, let's go. First of all, I'm just gonna check if there's any items in here. Probably not. Hope I did well.
It is time to cast our votes. The opinions before us are many. Roland's, Frederica's, Benedict's. Which to choose? Approach the scales of conviction with your token at the ready.
So, all three vote first.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I made up my mind. I stand with you, Lord Serenora. 1.
My apologies.
I've decided to stand with my ground.
I have faith in you.
I've decided this is the best for both King Roland and us all. Yes. I got it.
Forgive me, lad.
I'm sorry, lad, but my gut tells me this is the right path.
The scales of conviction will illuminate the path we've chosen.
Green, 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 green. Fuck.
Equal votes for all sides. As such, the Lord of the House will render the final decision. The way forward is decided. Frederica's dream is worth realizing. We will free the Roselle from the source.
It's happening, yes! If grief could passion move. Alright, I'm surprised I was able to get it. That's awesome.
A tumultuous meeting exposes a yawning chasm between Roland, Frederica, and Benedict's visions for the future. Yet only one will emerge victorious, for such is the custom of House Wolford. As ever, the scales of conviction have the final word. The time has come for judgments to be rendered and leaders to steel themselves for the outcome.
Chapter 17, Part 2. One last request.
We've chosen our path. We are to free the Roselle being held in Hyzant's source.
You have chosen the one path I cannot take.
I understand your disappointment, Benedict, but the scales have spoken. And so I ask for your wisdom. Help us find a way to free the Roselle.
Dude, the one path I cannot take. You would have rather get Hyzant to control the world over that? Heck no.
Hyzant will destroy everything you hold dear if you attempt to free them. That way lies ruin. Your choice is to turn your back on this house, to cast aside your land and the people who have built their lives upon it. I will not, I cannot endorse such betrayal.
I agree that we will be ill-prepared to defend the domain this way. Should that come to pass, I am prepared to flee with the Roselle and search for Centralia. They say it is home to a boundless salted sea. Surely a land where none need fight for salt is a land worth seeking. This is an opportunity, Benedict. We could find a new home instead of fighting the wars of old yet again.
Why not channel that resolve to lead the people of Norzelia as their king? You hold the power and the might. You lack only the will. With the salt crystals in hand, you shall ascend the throne. I shall see to it that you are coronated. Then we can liberate the Roselle, or whatever else your heart desires.
Dude, your country's in ruin right now.
Liberate the Roselle, or whatever else. I never dreamed I would hear such callous words fall from your lips.
I stand by them. I care only that you and the legacy of House Wolford are safe and secure. I shall offer my counsel by force, if needed.
You don't mean to fight the lad.
Stand down, Benedict.
No, Anna. This is a challenge that I must accept.
I beg you to reconsider. If you mean to proceed with this folly, then you will do so over my dead body. You can do so much more, Lord Serenoa. The salt crystals give you the upper hand. Esfrost and Hyzant would bend the knee to you. You could unite all Norzelia under your rule.
You were right about me, Benedict. I lack the will. I have no desire to rule Norzelia. I wish to see an oppressed people set free and nothing more.
At what cost? Would you see your loyal subjects conquered by another nation?
I would forfeit my lordship. The people of Wolfort will endure without me. The Roselle have no such champion for their cause. We are the only ones who can set them free.
Give me the order, and I shall reduce Hyzant to rubble. Then they shall be free.
The ensuing battle will only breed further resentment, or worse, displace others who will be treated like the Roselle. War cannot solve every problem, and our liberation of the Roselle shall prove as much.
So, you now take blind counsel from your betrothed. To think that an arranged marriage will lead to this folly.
Enough! I came to this conclusion of my own free will. I have seen the challenges that face Norzelia, and this is how I choose to respond.
You are every inch Lady Destra's child. Your compassion steers you headlong into every conflict. Alas, compassion is easily trampled. It can only exist so long as it has an army at its back. My patience grows thin, Lord Serenoa. The salt crystals give you the power to bring peace to Norzelia.
You're wrong. It is little more than the catalyst for another protracted war.
A war we can win. Let me lead you to victory.
There is always a war to be won. Do you not see the cycle at work? I will break that cycle and use my power to liberate the oppressed.
You talk of fleeing from your duty, of pure fantasy.
We need you, Benedict. Why can you not put our differences aside?
This is absurd. You race toward your own destruction, and I will not be party to it. Lord Simon entrusted me with the future of this house. And I swore an oath to Lady Destra that I would protect you no matter what the cost.
You are shackled to the past, Benedict.
Freaking Roland, he just sitting there, just be like, what the heck is going on?
I would call it loyalty.
And it has come to this. For the sake of our future, I must strike you down.
What?
Prepare yourself. You came, you missed.
Here!
You came, you missed.
Ha!
I yield. Grant me the mercy of a swift death.
No. Neither father nor mother would stand for the killing of a loyal retainer. The rest of us shall make our way to Hyzant in secret. You will remain here. Lead the people out of the Wolfort domain before the Hyzantian army assaults this castle, and keep them safe.
These are your orders, in exchange for sparing my life?
These are not orders, and there is no exchange to be made. This is the last thing I will ever ask of you as my steward and loyal friend of House Wolfort.
And so, you follow in the footsteps of Lord Simone and Lady Destra, leaving me behind with the most arduous tasks. I shall rise to the occasion, my lord. I shall do whatever is required to see that the Wolfort name and its people survive. Should House Wolfort lose its lord, I shall lead the house forward in your stead.
I have no doubt you will.
Okay. Roland's gone. Benedict is gone. How about Roland, though?
Benedict.
Mule-headed fool.
We've each made our choices. Now we must walk the path we believe is right.
Yes.
King Roland, this decision means casting Glenbrook aside. I know I cannot ask you to come with me, but will you agree to see to the salt crystals?
No. I am sorry, my friend. But I am not worthy to oversee such an important task.
Of course you are. You have always striven to be fair and just.
You hold me much too high in regard. Our conversation earlier made me realize the truth. My faith was misguided, as were my actions. I believed exacting vengeance upon Esfrost would be proof enough I was Glenbrook's rightful king. But I gave no thought to the bloody cost of revenge. This kingdom and its subjects should not have to suffer such a selfish fool upon the throne.
Then, you will come with me?
I shall. Not as your king, but as your friend. If I can help those in need, that is enough. Glenbrook has the geographical advantage, and the salt crystals. And there are a small handful of trustworthy nobles remaining. I'm certain they will ensure the people thrive, even without a king. Glenbrook is in too powerful a position for foreign powers to interfere.
Roland.
You know you aren't leaving me behind. I've come this far by your side. I'm not abandoning you now. You have my thanks, Huette.
Frederica, don't you think you ought to make your convictions clear to your companions?
Well, it's common knowledge by now that I'm an Isfrosti of Rosellan descent. I was a lonely child who hated that her hair was a different color from everyone else. But then I joined House Wolford. I met Jerome and witnessed the cruelty that my fellow Roselle suffered at the source. And I learned how brave my mother was, how long and hard she fought for her people's freedom. Compared to the horrors they went through, I have lived a life of privilege and comfort. I am proud to be a Rosellan, and proud to be a Wolford. I wish to be strong, strong like my lady mother before me. And I wish to see her dream of freeing our people fulfilled. I understand the difficulties that lie ahead, but hope that I might have you all with me.
We will always be there beside you, Frederica.
So, if I'd chosen Aesfrost Alliance, Roland would have left. If I chose Roland, Frederica would have left. And if I choose Frederica, Benedict left.
My lord, Hyzant's army has sent a message ahead of their forces. It says, the Grand Norzalian mines must be conferred to the goddess as a divine offering.
An offering? Sounds more like an ultimatum.
Precisely. If we refuse to relinquish the mines, they'll put the Wolford domain to the sword.
Then we've no time to waste. We must make ready to leave at once.
Very true.
Benedict.
I leave the rest in your hands, Anna.
All these years I have watched you. I may not be able to replace you, but I will do my best.
Loath as I am to burden you with such responsibility, that is heartening.
This ain't the Benedict I know. Come on, where's your usual glower?
You never change.
Huh, I should hope not. Defending House Wolford calls for consistency. And defend Wolford I shall, even in your absence.
I shall hold you to it, both of you.
I'm telling you, we've got it under control.
Your voice hasn't gotten any quieter.
Sorry. Parting ways with a friend always gets me worked up.
Thank you for seeing me off, you two. Farewell.
What of the Hyzantian forces?
They haven't entered the domain yet. If we act now, we could sneak around them and reach the capital.
Focused as they are on seizing the salt crystal deposits, I'd wager their domestic defenses are at a minimum.
If we can get into the capital and have the Roselle and the Source take up arms, we should stand a fair chance of helping them escape.
But Hyzant is wary of Sereno for keeping the salt crystals from them, despite his position as one of the Saintly Seven. They may be short-handed, but if they spot him, we'll never make it inside.
We can use the Consortium cart to slip unnoticed into the capital.
The wagon from Claris? You sure we can trust the Consortium?
Yes. If only because this benefits both us and him. In exchange, I told him what secrets we learned of Aesfrost and Hyzant.
You mean you told him of Dragan's murder and the illicit salt trade? I hope he understands those secrets must never leave his lips.
He understands. Once people learn of the salt crystals, Norzelia will change. And the Consortium will have a new role to serve. Now that they know, they will be better prepared to negotiate their position. They agreed to help us as a show of gratitude.
Okay.
You've thought this through. Well done, Anna.
What of our things, Gila?
Stored safely within the cart, of course.
Things? What things?
The explosives we found in the tunnel.
Whoa.
After we've gotten the Roselle to rise up, we'll set sail from the harbor and make for the Folk's domain, to the Great Falls. To make sure no one follows us, We'll blow up all the other ships in the harbor as we leave.
Frederica and I devised the plan ourselves.
A perfect way to make an escape with so many people.
Wise of you to make for the Falk's domain. It's distant enough. You'll have plenty of time to hide.
Aye, about as far south as you can get. No better place, if your end goal is Centralia, too.
It's a good plan. We shall do what we can to make sure it succeeds.
Crafty as ever, you Wolforts. I am glad to be on your side.
But one problem remains. How do we get the Roselle and the Source to turn against their captors? If we can't win their trust, all this is for naught.
We need some way of persuading them. And quickly, too.
Break the statue.
Let me worry about that. I can find the words to convince them. I am my mother's daughter, after all.
All right. I know you'll figure something out, Frederica.
There is one more thing. Huette, I'll need to send a bird.
Of course, my lady. Where to?
The Rosellan village. I'd like to tell Jerome and the others of our plan. I would have them meet us at the Great Falls.
Agreeing to such a thing means they will have to give up the lives they enjoy now. Do you think they will come?
Yeah.
I cannot say. Regardless, I owe it to them to let them know Hyzant is invading.
Indeed. Let us send word and see what they have to say.
Good plan. Looking forward to it.